Hey there, welcome back to The Becoming. Today we're talking about something that I think is really important, but often gets overlooked. Emotional exhaustion from overwork is a real thing, and it's affecting millions of people. I've been there myself, and I know how hard it can be to break free from this cycle of burnout. But I also know that it's possible, and that's what we're going to explore in this video. So, let's start with the basics. What is emotional exhaustion, and how does it happen? Well, it's pretty simple. When we're constantly pushing ourselves to work harder and longer, without taking the time to rest and recharge, we start to feel drained and depleted. It's like our batteries are running out, and we can't seem to find a way to charge them back up. We might feel tired all the time, or irritable, or just plain empty. And it's not just about being tired, it's about feeling like we've lost touch with what matters most to us. Now, I know that some of you might be thinking, but I love my job. I'm just passionate about what I do. And that's great. But the truth is, even if you love your job, you can still experience emotional exhaustion. It's not about the work itself, it's about the way we're approaching it. Are we prioritizing our own needs, or are we putting everyone else's first? Are we taking care of our physical and emotional health, or are we neglecting it? These are just a few of the questions we need to ask ourselves if we want to break free from this cycle of burnout. So what can we do to change this? Well, the first thing we need to do is take a step back and assess what's going on. We need to look at our lives and our habits and see where we can make some changes. Are we getting enough sleep, or are we staying up too late? Scrolling through our phones? Are we eating healthy foods, or are we relying on junk food and caffeine to get us through the day? These might seem like small things, but they can make a big difference in how we feel. Another thing we can do is prioritize our own needs. This might mean saying no to certain commitments, or setting boundaries with others. It might mean taking time for ourselves, whether that's reading a book, or taking a walk, or simply sitting in silence. We need to remember that we can't pour from an empty cup, and that taking care of ourselves is not selfish, it's necessary. Now, I know that this can be hard, especially if you're used to putting others first. But trust me, it's worth it. When we prioritize our own needs, we start to feel more energized and motivated. We start to feel like ourselves again instead of just going through the motions. And that's when the magic happens, because when we're feeling good, we're more productive, more creative, and more inspired. So, what's the first step you can take today to start prioritizing your own needs? Is it taking a few minutes each morning to meditate, or going for a walk during your lunch break? Whatever it is, make a commitment to yourself to do it and see how it makes you feel. Remember, taking care of yourself is not a luxury, it's a necessity, and it's the key to breaking free from emotional exhaustion. Now, let's talk about something that I think is really important but often gets overlooked: self-compassion. When we're feeling exhausted and drained, it's easy to beat ourselves up over it. We might think that we're not doing enough or that we're not good enough. But the truth is, we're doing the best we can, and that's something to be proud of. We need to learn to be kind to ourselves and to acknowledge our own strengths and weaknesses. So, how can we practice self-compassion? Well, one thing we can do is to reframe our negative self-talk. Instead of beating ourselves up over our mistakes, we can learn to see them as opportunities for growth and learning. We can also practice mindfulness and focus on the present moment, rather than getting caught up in worries about the past or future. And we can remind ourselves that we're not alone, and that everyone struggles with emotional exhaustion at some point or another. Now, I want to share a personal story with you. A few years ago, I was going through a really tough time. I was working nonstop, and I was feeling completely burned out. I was exhausted, irritable, and just plain empty. But I knew that I needed to make a change, so I started prioritizing my own needs. I started taking time for myself and focusing on my own well-being. And it wasn't easy, but it was worth it, because I started to feel like myself again. So what's the takeaway from all of this? Well, the first thing is that emotional exhaustion is real, and it's not something to be ashamed of. It's a sign that we need to make some changes and prioritize our own needs. The second thing is that we have the power to change this by taking care of ourselves and practicing self-compassion. And the third thing is that it's okay to ask for help and to seek support from others. We don't have to do this alone, and we shouldn't be afraid to reach out when we need it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them below, and don't forget to subscribe to The Becoming for weekly videos on mindset, resilience, and becoming who you were always meant to be. And if you're struggling with emotional exhaustion, Just know that you're not alone, and that there is hope for change. Use the keyword exhaustion in the comments below, and let's start a conversation about this important topic.